This is Hitman Codename 47. I have no context or backstory because I've never played a Hitman game, and I know next to nothing about, well, any of them. Luckily, Codename 47 fits the entry-level bill considering it was the first installment in the fairly popular Hitman series. Unlike the sequels to come, Codename 47 was a PC exclusive, although some of its missions would be incorporated into later games, and it was developed by EO Interactive and published by Eidos. No questionable Square Enix marketing campaigns in sight. And maybe it's because I'm not one of those longtime Hitman fans, but Codename 47 initially elicited a lukewarm reaction. Playing through the entire game did end up changing my original thoughts, but Hitman Codename 47, for all it does right in principle, unfortunately falls prey to flaws only emphasized by time. So, what are those flaws? Well, the game came out in 2000, a time when 3D gaming was still in its awkward teenage years. Polygons abound in Hitman Codename 47, but beyond rough graphics and a draw distance that's a little disappointing even among its contemporaries, Codename 47's looks aren't anything despicable or tremendously bad, and in fact the rest of the presentation is pretty solid. Well, except for the stereotyped voice acting. Music isn't anything you'll have caught in your head, but it does set the tone for the smooth stealth and fatal action the plot and game will have you take part in. An apparently manufactured killer of a scientist of some kind, Agent 47 enters the world of the Agency, an organization invested in the killing of others, after he completes his extremely short combat training. It's like he was made for this stuff, or, something.
Go to the door. Good. As you can see,
Remember how I mentioned that smooth stealth and fatal action? Well, yeah, pre-mission debriefings and air of murderous intrigue definitely create a fantastic atmosphere surrounding the core gameplay. Problem is, that gameplay can get a little, rough. But again, Codename 47 does a lot right. I guess I've waited a little too long to state the game's genre, but here it is anyways. Hitman Codename 47 is an action stealth game, emphasis on the stealth. However, one of Codename 47's biggest appeals is its ability to provide a few scenarios for each mission. Upon entering the next open area, Agent 47's means of completing his objectives seem limitless, apparently ranging from open, action-packed shootouts to disguised infiltration. But well, those means aren't really that limitless, or even widely varied. It's not a drastic change between different scenarios surrounding the same mission, and in fact, some missions are pretty much impossible without stealthily completing certain objectives. Again, in principle, Codename 47's draw of possibilities looks awesome from a distance, but moment-to-moment gameplay isn't drastically affected. And for a stealth game, Codename 47's AI is frustratingly inconsistent. What works for one attempt of completing a mission unreasonably does not on the next try. And, it's very possible that I just suck at the game, but on normal difficulty and with Agent 47's apparent allergy to a few bullets, Codename 47 can get really frustrating really fast, also taking into account the checkpoint system that doesn't reset enemy awareness of your identity. I know I've mentioned Codename 47 does stuff right, and it seems like I've neglected that side of the game in favor of the sometimes more glaring negatives. But despite some technical missteps in the context of modern stealth games and some possibly personal gripes aside, it's a very competent and fun stealth game. There's a feeling of satisfaction associated with completing a long mission, taking out a guard undetected, stealing his clothes and dragging his body to a nearby hiding place, getting that stealthy headshot with a silenced pistol, and the confusingly satisfying narrative payoff. All of these factors, among smaller, less noticeable ones, make up for many of the problems associated with a lot of games at the time of its release. Anyone looking for a good stealth game, the roots of a long-running series, or a back-of-the-head barcode simulator could do a lot worse than Hitman Codename 47.